Good morning, friends. This video is a reflection on the struggles of the Syro Malabar Church. Apostle St. Thomas. Apostle St. Thomas came to India and landed at Kodungalur in 52 CE. It was a port city, center of world trade of spices, frequented by the Jews, Romans, Greeks, Persians, Arabs and others. It was the capital of the Chera kingdom, ruled by the Perumals. St. Thomas, through his preaching, established a Christian community in the western and eastern coast of South India. The early Christian community in South India. The first Christians of India belonged to the Jewish community of Kodungalur, members of the royal family at Kodungalur, and persons of Brahmin caste. St. Thomas had to face resistance from different corners. He laid down his life for the Lord at Mylapore on the eastern coast. He was martyred and pierced with a lance and was buried at Mylapore. Persecutions. The young Christian community in India had to face persecutions around the middle of the 2nd century. Kokamangalam was a center where there was a church and a community. The persecutions caused many to renounce their faith. A small group which remained faithful were known as Teresa Christians, meaning firm and faithful Christians. Malankara or Malabar Church and the East Syrian Church of Edessa. By 3rd century CE, the Christians were well accepted in church in Chera kingdom, Cheralam or Keralam. They were given special status in the kingdom. Christian traders from Persia strengthened the relationship between Christians in Edessa and Christians in Malabar. Malankara or Malyangara. East Syriac was the language of the people in Edessa and the language of worship in Malabar. Both considered St. Thomas as their father in faith. Christians persecuted in Iran. Shapur II, 309 to 379, 70 years, was the 10th Sasanian king of kings, Shahanshah of Iran. He took the title at birth and held it until his death at the age of 70. Shapur II pursued a harsh religious policy. Under his reign, Christians were persecuted. In 345 CE, under the leadership of Thomas of Cana, in 3 ships, 500 Christian families from the Iranian Empire migrated to Kodungalur to escape from religious oppression. Knanaya community. The migration of Thomas of Cana and the community to Malabar was beneficial for both the communities. Priests and bishops who accompanied the migrants served both the communities. Knanaya community preserved their identity and culture through endogamy, while the Malabar Church maintained its independence with respect to financial administration through its archdeacon. The spiritual heads used to come from Baghdad, where the Patriarch of Chaldea resided. Pentarchy, the 5 ancient patriarchates. Rome, Constantinople, Alexandria, Antioch and Jerusalem constitute the Pentarchy. Malabar Church belonged to the Chaldean or East Syrian Patriarchate under the Antiochian Patriarchate. The church in Kerala was enriched by the Edesan theology and the Chaldean liturgy. From Chaldea, they sent bishops to Malabar, and who did not ordain bishops from Malabar, but they used to come from Chaldea. The church was headed by the archdeacon. Through the Catholics, Patriarch of Chaldea, Malabar Church remained in communion with Rome always. The Portuguese, through Patuado agreement with Rome, imposed their jurisdiction over the Malabar Church, convened the illicit Synod of Udayamperur in 1599 CE. Under threat of excommunication, they destroyed the liturgical, social, cultural, and theological traditions of the Syro Malabar community. Unangros Oath. After the Synod, the Portuguese systematically Latinized the Syrian community. A huge crowd of the Syrians assembled at Matancheri on 3rd of January 1653 and made an oath that they would not remain under the Latin bishops. To bring back the Syrians to the Catholic fold, the Vicariate of Malabar was created for the Syrians in December 1659. A major part of Syrians came back to the Catholic fold. Others joined the West Syrian Orthodox Church of Antioch, Jacobites, and a third group became an independent Oriental Protestant church, Mar Thoma Church. The struggling Church of Malabar. The result of the Synod of Udayamperur was St. Thomas Christians community was divided into four. Vicariate of Malabar of Verapura under Propaganda, the Diocese of Kodungalur under Padruado, the Orthodox Syrian Church of Antioch, and Mar Thoma Church of Kerala. In 1709, the Vicariate of Malabar was suppressed and the Vicariate of Verapura was created for the benefit of Syrians and the Latins together. The Wounded Church. From the very inception, the Malabar Church had its liturgy in the East Syrian tradition, enriched by Ephraim and others of the school of Edessa and adapted to the culture of Kerala. The mutilated and Latinized Malabar rite could not satisfy them. They were for bishops from Chaldea, traditionally, who knew East Syriac language. In search of a Syrian prelate. Several attempts were made to fill the vacuum caused by the absence of Syrian bishops. Yusuf Karyati of Alangad, with the help of the Latin missionaries, went to Rome, studied there, was ordained, and returned to Kerala as Malpan, or professor. Later he went to Rome with Paramakal Thomas Kathanan. Karyati was consecrated Archbishop of Malabar at Lisbon, and he came back to Goa, where he died. Schismatic sects in Malabar. Bishop Pandari Schism. Among the Syrians, a rumor spread that Archbishop Karyati was killed. Paramakal was appointed governor of Kodungalur diocese. The rumor died out. Some of the Syrians requested the Chaldean Patriarch for a bishop for Malabar. One Pandari from Malabar reached Baghdad and was consecrated a bishop and came back to Malabar. Some churches and priests joined the Pandari sect. Later, he became insane and he died. Denaha Bariona. Father Denaha Bariona of Baghdad came to Malabar without the permission of his patriarch. Father Panangura, a rebel priest of Malabar, welcomed him and accommodated him at Koravilangad. Later, he claimed to be a bishop in disguise. He too collected a group of followers and created unrest in the community. When his identity was exposed, he left Malabar for Baghdad. Anthony Kudakachara. Father Anthony Kudakachara, a dissident priest of Malabar, together with another priest Anthony Tondanat and a few scholastics and other priests, went to Babel, Iraq, with an intention to bring a Syrian bishop to Malabar. The scholastics were trained for priesthood in the Chaldean tradition. After some time, Anthony Kodakachara returned to Malabar. Kodakachara Kathanar dies in Mosul. Anthony Kathar contacted priests, parishes, and the lay faithful, collected money and recruited students for priesthood to be trained in Babel. Vicar Apostolic of Verapura excommunicated him. He went back to Babel and died in Mosul, Iraq. Some other priests and scholastics from India also died due to a contagious fever. The remaining seminarians moved to Basra and stayed with Tondanat Anthony Kathanar, who pursued the efforts of Father Kodakachara. Consecration of Bishop Rokos. Due to the efforts of Father Anthony Tondanat, the Patriarch of Chaldea, on 20th of September 1859, at the Church of Maskanda in Mosul, consecrated Mar Thoma Rokos as the Bishop of Malayalam without obtaining the consent of the Pope. In May 1860, Bishop Mar Thoma Rokos with Father Anthony Tondanat and seminarians landed in Kochi and stayed with the Jacobite prelate Mar Korillos. Bishop Rokos welcomed at Taikatasheri. After a few days, Bishop Rokos was solemnly welcomed at the parish church of Taikatasheri, where he stayed. Malpans, vicars, and lay leaders paid respect to the bishop who came from Babel. Father Chavara and the members of the religious community of Mandanam insisted on clear instruction from Rome before the new bishop is accepted. 99% of the faithful and priests became members of the Rokos sect. End of Rokosism. Excommunication was pronounced against Bishop Rokos. Rome ordered the Chaldean Patriarch to call back Bishop Rokos. Father Chavara, under the instructions from Verapura, planned for Bishop Rokos' return journey to Babel. The churches came back to the Catholic fold one after another after Rokos left Malabar. Rokos sect in Malabar. Even after the departure of Bishop Rokos to Babel, the Rokos sect was active in Malangara. Father Anthony Tondanat went to Babel and came back as Archbishop Abdiso. Archbishop Abdiso moved to Plashanal. Staying there, he continued his efforts to build up the new sect, which was unsuccessful. Mar Abdiso repents. Later, Mar Abdiso repented, came to Mandanam, and reconciled himself with the church. By the end of July 1865, order from Rome lifting his excommunication was received. Father Kuriakos Marukara, vicar of Mandanam Monastery, conducted the rite of receiving Mar Abdiso back to the church. Syro Malabar Church Sui Juris. 20th May 1887, Trichur and Kottayam vicariates were erected to Syro Malabar Christians. On 20th of July 1896, Trichur, Ernakulam, Changanasheri vicariates were erected. 21st of December 1923, Syro Malabar hierarchy was created. On 16th December 1992, Syro Malabar Church was raised to the status of a major archiepiscopal church. On 10th of October 2017, All India jurisdiction was granted to Syro Malabar Archiepiscopal Church. That they may all be one. In the present context of resistance to unification of the mode of celebrating the Holy Mass, we must not forget the struggles the Syro Malabar Church had in remaining in communion with the Prime Patriarchate. We should be grateful to be of archiepiscopal sui juris status in the Catholic Communion. Ottaikkalla, Ottaikkettanu slogan would be truly meaningful in Catholic Communion. May John 17 verse 21, the prayer of Jesus, be fulfilled in us all. Amen.